FOG Andrew here, and the coach here for Family of Gamers. Welcome, War Gamers, to an exciting, awesome episode. Today, I'm very excited for this video because we are going to be doing our official review of Unmatched Adventures, Tales to Amaze. So, we backed the Kickstarter back in March, because I think, it was March, because we were at Adepticon when it went up.
We did it in the hotel.
Yes. And, we backed it. We just got it 2 weeks ago, and we've been grinding out games and stuff like that because I really wanted to see how this played. I also did an unboxing of this box, so you can check that out after this video. But in that video, I was really excited to finally get this to the table because this kind of turns Unmatched on its head. Unmatched is a competitive game. This turns it into a cooperative game, but you can still play competitively. So overall, Unmatched, we both really enjoy it. It's a board game, skirmish game, essentially. So Unmatched, it's a top 5 board games of all time for me, or even top 5 games of all time, if you can believe that. But this Tales to Amaze, what are your kind of thoughts for this box?
I had high hopes. I thought that that they were putting out Restoration was putting out good stuff with Unmatched.
Yep.
The game itself is good. It's weird when they come out with characters like in this box. Other than like Tesla, I really didn't know anything about the characters, but
right.
They always do a good job coming out with characters. That being said, the cooperative thing was a nice twist. So it's basically they have a good rule system, then we use the cooperative system. But man, it's tough. It's tough to beat those bosses. They're not sidekicks.
They're like minions.
Minions, and it was tough, but it's a lot. It was a lot of fun. It's a real slog, and it's a real you have to use a lot of tactics. You got to use your cards. You got to know what's going on.
Yeah.
So I think where Unmatched is tactical, this is almost like 3 times tactical, because what are you going to do? What is your partner going to do? And then what is the monsters going to do? Mm-hmm. It's a lot of stuff coming on it, and it's crunchy and it's good. I had a fun time playing it, although we didn't do too well in the games. But
no, we have yet to beat the Martian Invader.
Right.
So
we beat the Mothman once.
Yes.
And the Martian Invader was really tough. I like the whole system with the what is it, the Doom Tracker?
The threat,
and then the flipping over the tiles and that to make different events happen or whatever.
Or the initiative cards.
It's a good little system, and I also like the AI of the bad guys.
Yeah, the AI definitely works very well.
A little too well for the monsters.
Yeah, definitely. My whole thing with this, is, I wanted to see not just, how the cooperative system goes, but how the characters go, being a big fan of the competitive version of Unmatched. After we played this the first time, I was like, this is excellent. This is fantastic. Mm-hmm. Everything about this box is amazing, okay? Models, card artwork is even fantastic. On the backs of the cards are amazing on all the minions. The stuff they did for the models for the bosses, there's Mothman has transparent wings and red eyes, and the Martian Invader has a green dome and a green base. Just they went above and beyond with this, and I feel like this could be considered an Unmatched starter set.
Could be,
and then it's and then you can get the other games, you know what I mean? Because there's 3 rule books in here. Mm-hmm. There's how to play Unmatched, standard, how to play with these characters, and then how to set up the cooperative game. So it's basically an Unmatched starter set,
Yes and no. I would say yes, but the thing is that the board is huge compared to the other boards.
Yeah.
So it might not be a true starter set per
Right.
se. It's more of a, I would say it's a starter set for people getting into it more. Like you can get it and you can kind of figure it out, but then when you get the others, like let's say Cobble and Fog, that's a starter set because you have the board and everything, but it's a smaller board, and most of the stuff is played on a smaller board. I kind of like the bigger board though, just because the game lasts a lot longer than say a regular. I think a regular match is like you're so close and let's get it on.
Right.
This was a little bit more like you could run away, or you could run away, but the damn Martian kept coming after us, like jumping all over the place. It's crazy.
Yeah, and the just the minions in this box too. It's like not only are you fighting Mothman as the boss and the Martian Invader as the boss, you have the minions.
They're so annoying.
The minions are really annoying, but again, it adds so much. It's like really, really.
Yeah. Do you go for the minions? Do you go for the main guy, or do you kind of split it up or whatever? Right. We've tried a few different ways, and I don't think there's.
You just got to kind of figure it out.
It's luck of the cards, luck of the draw, really.
Yeah, definitely.
Like I had a huge attack with who I was playing Jill Trent last night, and I had a huge attack, and then they pull a card, and I got maybe one wound on it, and it just didn't work out. So it's really tactically it's tough.
Right. Yeah, and the like going back to the AI system is really good. How it's basically you really are fighting an AI player that's playing Unmatched, because you're flipping over the card. It has the during combat, immediately after combat, all that.
And you can't hide, because if they can't get to somebody, then you move the
threat goes up.
Threat goes up, and then you're kind of like, well, should I attack this so that the threat doesn't go up, or do I kind of sacrifice myself, sacrifice that and run away?
Yeah.
So you got to figure out what to do.
Right.
I like how it scales up too if you have more people playing.
Yes. So because I believe if you have like 3 players, you have the boss and 3 minions.
Yeah.
4 players, the boss and 4 minions. I believe that's how it goes
it's
in
like
here.
Pandemonium.
Yeah. So and you have 6 different minions to choose from. So every game is going to be different. With just adding the minions, it's going to change up the game entirely. Characters in here, what do we think? Just in this box, not how they play competitively, but how the characters are.
I like them.
Yeah.
I've everyone I've played is solid. They have their strengths and weaknesses. But you got to figure it out tactically and positioning and stuff. I think the range characters really kind of. You need range characters in this because with all the different positioning and stuff, it's hard. But also melee characters are the most fun, in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean the only range characters in here are Tesla and then Charlie. Annie's sidekick. So.
But I'm saying, it's just so. That's you need those guys in there. I think it's important to have the range, but it's a good mix here.
Right.
And also this is new characters in the Unmatched universe.
Yeah, exactly. I think Golden Bat is probably my favorite.
Yeah, me too. Although Jill Trent is tied for first for me.
Right.
She's got a lot of cool stuff. Her cards, there's a lot of after effects or nullifying effect. Like every card is something special.
Right.
It's not like, oh, I got this card.
Right.
And it does something like, you're lucky enough to get that card.
Yeah.
Every card has something that's worthwhile.
Right.
And I really enjoyed playing her.
Yeah. I also like Tesla. He's pretty good too. Like with the, it's almost like Beowulf's Rage. You have the Tesla coils, which are like a currency. Like, oh, if you do that, this card does this. But if you,
if you're fully charged,
it does this. Or if you discharge 1 or 2, then it does this.
Right.
So it's pretty.
Right. And do you sacrifice it's a turn or an action to charge a coil? Do you charge the coil, or do you attack, or do you go with 1, or do you go with none? That's where the tactics lie, the strategy lies. I like that.
Right. Yeah. So I think all the characters in here are solid. I think the AI is solid. I think the bosses are solid. I think everything about this box is just
It's
fantastic.
a typical what we've come to expect from Unmatched.
Yeah.
You know, it's good stuff. What I'm looking forward to, honestly, my favorite character in the game, Bruce Lee.
Mm-hmm.
I want to see how he does against, like, say, the Martian Invader.
And you know what? That's the other thing that I want to talk about is how you can bring Golden Bat, Annie Christmas, Jill Trent, and Tesla from here and have them fight in regular cooperative Unmatched. You can have the other characters from the other boxes fight the bosses in this. So, you know, having these characters fight Bruce Lee, T-Rex, King Arthur, Medusa, you know, stuff like that.
Well, the Marvel guys too. I want to see how they stack up against, like,
Exactly.
say, Black Panther, or, you know.
Exactly. And then having Black Panther, Bruce Lee, the T-Rex fight Mothman, you know, like, just that.
It might work out. I think like last night when we were playing, and all I kept saying was, "Man, if Bruce was here, man,
Yeah.
if Bruce was here,"
Yeah.
or even, like, say, Sinbad.
Yeah.
I would like to see how this. But what? So now that goes back to what you said. You know, now it's like, okay, we have these 4 characters. They're cool, but how would this guy and this guy, or him and her, or she and him, and how would they go against this? You know what? This guy does this. You know, like, say, the Mothman does this, but this particular character does this. Like last night, we were trying. We had 2 characters. I had my minion, my sidekick, and you had your sidekick within range, and we were just hammering the Martian, and we just couldn't get it done.
Yeah.
But if I had, like, say, Bruce Lee, and I do that chaining where, you know, and you get another action, and then you get another action, and you get another action. You know, that's crazy. The only thing is with the AI, if you like chaining actions, and they flip that damn card over, they never run out of cards. Yeah. So it's not like, well, I got to take it, you know, unless it's the 0 card, the deception card. But other than that, yeah, because they're super duper strong. But I think I'd like to see different factions or different boxes going against, you know, how would Jekyll and Hyde do against the Mothman or the Marsh, you know, like, It just as we would talk, like, we played and then we talked for an hour and a half about what to do here.
Yeah. And I think that there is so much potential to not only, you know, expanding on regular Unmatched, you know, with the characters, but also expanding on the cooperative version.
That's what I mean.
You know, like, there's so much potential for what they could do. They could do, you know, another, you know, like a small expansion box where it's like, okay, this small expansion comes with a boss and 2 more minions, you know, and then you can mix and match, you know,
and then it's
or, like, you know, it still works. The only thing is that, you know, you'd probably need, like, because, you know, Mothman, you can't use the Mothman on the Martian Invader side of the board. You can't use the Martian Invader on the Mothman side of the board. So you need, like, a whole nother board. But I'm sure they can, you know, figure it out, or even come out with a whole, you know, in another 2 years, come up with a whole new Unmatched Adventures, Tales 2, whatever, you know, but another.
If they come out with an expansion and then it says, you know, like, you could play this with regular, or can be used with Tales to Amaze.
Right.
You know, so, you know, if it's an expansion just for this, but I think they would have to do an expansion that goes with this, but then can play regular for people who, like, say, I mean, if you're an Unmatched fan, you probably have this, but if you don't, they have to think that too.
Yeah.
So, all right. So you need Tales to Amaze, or at least 1 starter set, or come out with a starter set.
Right.
And then you have a boss in it, or, you know, I don't know. They said they weren't going to do singles anymore, right? Isn't that?
They're not doing singles, but that's single characters. They could do a single boss.
Right, but technically,
you know, because like, you can't play Mothman against Bigfoot, you know, like in a competitive Unmatched.
How about Mothman against the Martian Invader?
Well, unfortunately, you can't do that because, you know.
In house rule it, we could figure it out.
I mean, I guess so. If we just watch the AI fight,
right.
That would, you know, that would be weird.
It would be crazy, yeah.
Yeah. So I think this is just it. Just when we played it, it blew my mind. It's really good.
We just and honestly, just playing it, the bunch of games we did play, it's really just scratching the surface. There's so it's following the Kickstarter. and it's like, okay, like all the things we said, this and that, this and that, this and that. But now we started planning like, oh, wait a minute, we should do this, or we should do that, or we should try this, or we should try that. And it's like, it starts to really like take your mind in crazy directions.
Yeah.
In a good way. In
Yeah.
a good way.
Oh, yeah.
I like,
Yeah.
I like doing, as a war gamer, I think it's more like, okay, so this is kind of an expansion on the board game in a different direction.
Yeah.
Which is important. It's not like, all right, well, although I really like Unmatched, I know it's like you said, one of your top 5. What else you got?
Yeah.
Like, how can we take this somewhere else, or just use these rules and expand it a little bit?
Right.
And I think they were super successful in doing it.
Yeah.
And the models were really good, which is important for me. I like board games with meeples and stuff. That I'm not a huge fan of it. Certain games are great with them, but but having great minis and great sculpts is a huge. It's almost like a deal breaker for me. Like, oh, the minis are great. All right, I don't care. Let's try the game. It's more appealing to me.
Right.
And they haven't disappointed. Their sculpts have been pretty amazing.
Yeah.
I will say that, as far as, and as a painter and a miniature guy, just having this, and then you throw it on the table, and the acid wash, the white, the ink wash, makes a huge difference on it. They look great. So it's like a guy like you who doesn't want to paint, or doesn't want to, but you want to have something that looks visually stunning on the table. That's important.
Right.
That's, and I don't think that should be glossed over. I think they put a lot of emphasis onto the miniatures, and I think that really makes a huge difference. And because this is such a individual character-driven game, where that if you just had a meeple, where it's like, okay, so the blue meeple does what Golden Bat does, and this is his powers.
Right.
It's not visually stunning, but this is visually stunning.
Right.
I would like to see 3D terrain, but that's just me. That's a little pet peeve of mine. I don't think it would work in this, but
no.
But there are no walls and that, but the bridges and things like that would be
I mean, there's no cover or anything.
Yeah. No, I understand, but I'm just saying, like, maybe, I don't know, maybe a 3D printed Unmatched board might be something in the future.
Yeah. So what was that?
No, that's
okay.
I'm just saying, just now my brain went in another direction. So,
So overall, I give this a 10 out of 10.
I would give it a 10 out of 10. I
don't like, especially when it comes to board games, if I really like a game, I'm like, no, it's a 9.9. Nothing is perfect. I don't see any flaws with this at all.
No, I think they said what they're going to do. They delivered, and I think they over delivered. They really
100%.
They did promise high. You read the Kickstarter, and it was like, we're going to do this. Yeah. And we were both a little skeptical, but it's like, all right, let's give them a shot, because everything's been pretty good.
Right.
10 out of 10.
Yeah, definitely. And again, rarely say that anything's perfect, but I think this is a perfect board game.
I wouldn't say it's perfect, but it's damn close, man. Yeah, I mean, 10 out of 10.
It's fantastic. It's excellent. We are going to be doing some more unmatched videos in the future. We will be doing some battle reports, seeing Golden Bat or Jill Trent fight some of the previous characters that have come out. If you have any recommendations of who you would want to see fight, let me know down in the comments below, and then we could do that.
If you have any tips on beating the Martian or the Mothman, we'll gladly accept those two.
Let us know in the comments below. Guys, there's some videos on the screen right now that you can check out that we have posted on the channel. They're on the screen. They might even be in front of us, blocking us. But yeah, stay tuned for more Unmatched videos coming out in the future. And guys, subscribe if you're new, and I'll see you in the next one.